I think the most exciting thing that we're doing right now is the forays we're making into addressability. And when we're talking about addressability in a cross-platform manner. So we've managed to be able to really corner it with Hulu. We're looking at Comcast set-top box VOD and really making some roads there. But more importantly, we're starting to think about what we can do in the live linear space and how we can actually start looking at ad versioning and addressable copy splitting in the live linear. So these are some of the things that we're now really leaning into, which is an extremely exciting time. There's the addressability of on-demand, which obviously you're going to be able to take a look at any IP delivered stream and basically commit to a one-to-one relationship with a brand and a consumer. When we're talking about being able to do it on broadcast and in a primetime broadcast environment, things start to get a lot more complex. And I don't think that's a future that we're going to see immediately, but it is one that we're starting to really understand how the technology comes together, how we're working with different Q tones so that you can actually see ways to be able to split the messages that are being delivered in the broadcast stream for certain markets as that technology becomes available. So I think the next layer after age and gender seems to go directly to income. Income levels, household composition. We're sort of starting to see that next layer of what age sex translates into. There's kind of a series of attributes that you can kind of generally bank that a brand is going to look to expand on. So everything from household income, household composition, ethnicity, all of these pieces kind of become a part of what brands are looking at. And we're starting to kind of develop out some proxy targets just on the basis of that. Then you have the nuances of, sort of more bespoke targets that brands are looking for that are as custom and granular as you can possibly get, and usually are just down to the imagination of the marketers and what they're trying to extract for their customers. With OpenAP, we're using, we've got Nielsen and comScore locked in. We've got their MRI Fusion datasets, Catalina datasets, the MBI datasets all coming through with comScore. We have all of their syndicated datasets. So we feel like we've kind of got the right breadth of what is as industry standard could be within OpenAP today. There's still a lot that we're looking to be able to bring into it. Some of the standard data sets with IRI we're trying to include, Simmons, so there's a lot of other things that are still not being made available through the measurement companies in a standard way. We're starting to push and have that made available in OpenAP. But I think it gets really exciting when we actually start moving off of the standard measurement partners and into more of the set-top box VOD data, into more of the MVPD data that we can actually be leveraging, more specifically the IP connected data, so looking at Inscape data, looking at Samba data. There's a lot of ways that we can actually start bringing that in, which isn't to necessarily, call favor to any one of them. Really what it comes down to is we want to enable as many of these data sets as we can so that we can bring them all to an equal playing field and then let brands and agencies determine where they're going to see the most value. Performance metrics are an interesting one because it basically, it requires you to have a good indication of what kind of performance you want to see going into it. And that's not actually always as well defined as one might think. I think what I've often been saying is it's very easy to now understand the before, during, and after effects of advertising, which is fantastic, but it also means that you have to start thinking about what are those baselines for before, during, and after that you're looking for. Are you looking purely for conversions on purchases? Are you looking for footfall traffic? Are you looking for greater brand awareness? All of these things can actually be used in concert with each other depending on what the advertiser is trying to extract out of the value of their buy.
And it varies.
And it varies. Well, it does. I mean, I think that, if you look at it on a vertical by vertical basis, right, you know that an auto vertical is going to be looking for eventually the purchase lift of their automobiles that they're looking to target, right? The auto category in general is an interesting one because there's a much longer tail to purchase. People aren't necessarily going to see a couple of ads for a new SUV on TV and then immediately go and buy one. They actually need to be identified as in market, and not just in market, but likely to convert and in market. And even within that, there's a much longer tail that you want to look at for performance on that. So we've been working with different auto brands to think about how can you actually construct campaigns over time so that you're monitoring both performance of an individual campaign campaign for awareness of a brand and a new sedan model, as well as any particular behaviors of driving greater traffic into dealerships, all the way through to eventually a new lease or a new purchase. And when you start looking on a category by category basis, you're going to see different things for quick service dining. You're going to see different things for retail. So all of these tend to become pretty bespoke to the client and whatever they're trying to accomplish.